Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Healthy Talks channel. I'm Emily, and I'm joined by Dr. Steven. The topic of today is, can food affect your mood?
It's wonderful to be here, Emily. And, this is a topic that I find is coming up in the clinic more and more.
Hmm?
It's finally getting the attention it deserves.
I think most of us get the basics right. We
Hmm.
know if I eat, say, a huge cheeseburger and a pile of fries, I'm going to feel physically heavy, a bit sluggish.
Sure.
We know food affects our waistline, our heart. That's kind of standard knowledge now. But what we're digging into today it feels more subtle. Can a salad actually change how happy I am?
Yeah.
Can a bag of chips really make me feel anxious?
The short answer is yes, absolutely. The link is undeniable.
Yeah.
But to really get it, we have to stop thinking about food as just, calories for our muscles.
Or fuel for the treadmill.
Exactly. We need to shift the focus to the one organ that's always running the show, the brain.
Because it's always on.
It's always on. It never, ever gets a day off, 24/7. Even when you're fast asleep, your brain is managing your breathing, your heartbeat, your senses, processing thoughts.
That's a lot of work.
It's a huge amount of work, and that level of activity requires a constant, steady supply of fuel.
Which comes from our food.
Right. And here's the kicker. The quality of that fuel matters immensely. I like to use an analogy. Think of your body as a high-performance, maybe even a vintage expensive car.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm picturing a red convertible.
Perfect. So this beautiful car runs best on premium fuel. The engine is designed for it. What happens if you fill it with the cheapest, lowest grade fuel you can find?
It's not going to run well. It'll probably sputter.
It'll sputter, it'll stall,
Hmm.
and eventually you damage the engine. In our bodies, that low-grade fuel is processed and refined foods. And when the brain runs on that, it causes something called oxidative stress.
I've heard that term before, but what does that actually mean for the brain?
You can think of it like biological rust. When the brain burns low-quality fuel, it creates waste products. And if you aren't eating good food with antioxidants to clean up that waste, it builds up. It literally damages the cells.
So you're not just failing to fuel the car, you're actively gumming up the works.
You've got it. That's the perfect way to put it.
Okay, so that makes sense. But how does the food in my stomach actually talk to my brain? Is it just about blood sugar, or is there some kind of, direct phone line?
It's much, much more than just blood sugar. The real star here is the gut-brain connection. And this brings us to a fact that, it usually blows people's minds. Emily, when you think of serotonin, the mood chemical, where is it made?
In the brain, right. It's a neurotransmitter. It affects my mood.
That is the logical assumption.
Mm-hmm.
But, and get this, approximately 95% of your body's serotonin is produced in your gastrointestinal tract.
Wait, what? 95%?
95. Almost all of it. Your gut is lined with about 100 million nerve cells. It's so sophisticated that in medicine, we often call it the second brain.
The second brain. I've heard that.
And the function of these nerve cells and the production of serotonin is heavily influenced by the trillions of bacteria living in your intestines.
A microbiome.
The microbiome, the gatekeepers of your mood.
You hear about good bacteria for digestion, but you're saying they're actually kind of dictating my mental state.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
Let's use another analogy. Think of your gut like a garden.
Okay.
A healthy diet full of fiber and nutrients acts like fertilizer for the good plants, the beneficial bacteria. They protect the lining of your gut, help you absorb nutrients, and crucially, they limit inflammation.
So if I'm eating well, I'm tending my garden, and my garden produces the happy chemicals.
Precisely. And these good bacteria activate neural pathways that travel directly from the gut to the brain. It's a two-way superhighway.
So a gut feeling isn't just a metaphor.
It's biology. If that garden is overgrown with weeds from a poor diet, that distress signal travels right up to the brain.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about the weeds. Who are the villains here? What's the low premium fuel?
It's the usual suspects. Refined sugars and ultra-processed foods. Let's start with sugar. We all know the sugar rush.
Yeah, you see it with kids at a birthday party.
Right. But what's happening physiologically involves something called the glycemic index.
That's about how fast food raises your blood sugar?
Correct. High glycemic foods, sugary snacks, soda, white bread, they cause this huge, rapid spike in blood glucose. It feels good for a minute. You get a burst of energy.
That what goes up?
Must come down, and that's the crash. This is where it gets really fascinating for mental health. When your blood sugar plummets, your body kind of panics. It sees it as a fuel crisis.
Okay.
So to fix it, it releases hormones, specifically cortisol and adrenaline.
The stress hormones.
Exactly. Adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone. So imagine you have sugary cereal for breakfast. An hour later, you're at your desk, your blood sugar crashes, and your body dumps adrenaline into your system. What does that feel like?
Shaky. Irritable. Maybe my heart is racing a little, a bit uneasy.
It feels exactly like anxiety.
Oh, wow.
It mimics it perfectly. You might think, why am I so stressed about this email? But really, it's not an emotional problem. It's a biological crash from your breakfast.
So it might not be a bad day, just a bad blood sugar reaction.
It happens so much more often than people realize. And then you have the other villain, ultra-processed foods.
The stuff in shiny packages,
Right.
fast food, snacks, things with a million ingredients.
The stuff engineered to taste incredible. But some really interesting research found that people who ate the most ultra-processed foods had a significantly higher risk of developing depression down the line.
Is that just the sugar crash or is something else going on?
It's a combination, but a huge factor is inflammation. Remember our gut garden. When you eat these foods, they can damage the gut lining. You might have heard the term leaky gut.
Which sounds awful.
It's not great. Things can leak out that shouldn't, and the immune system goes on high alert. It sees them as invaders and responds with inflammation. When your immune system is constantly fighting your food, it disrupts brain chemicals like dopamine. It literally leads to a low mood.
So the immune system gets so distracted fighting the bad food that it accidentally messes up the happiness chemicals.
That's a perfect way of putting it.
Okay, that's pretty bleak. The engine is rusty, the garden is full of weeds. Let's pivot. What are the heroes? What should we be eating?
Well, the best evidence doesn't point to anything trendy or new. It points to something very old. Traditional diets.
Like the Mediterranean diet.
The Mediterranean diet, the traditional Japanese diet.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. Studies show that the risk of depression is 25 to 35% lower in people who eat these traditional diets compared to a standard Western diet.
25 to 35%. That's a huge number.
It's a massive, significant difference. And it's because these diets are packed with whole foods, vegetables, fruits, unprocessed grains, fish, legumes.
So if I'm going to the grocery store today to shop for my brain, what's in the cart?
Okay, the shopping list. First, lots of colorful fruits and vegetables. But let's get specific. You want fermented foods.
Like yogurt or kimchi?
Exactly. Kimchi, sauerkraut, miso. They're natural probiotics. They're like sending reinforcements straight to your gut garden.
I love that. Okay, what else?
Citrus fruits. Research shows they can lower the risk of depression, probably because of compounds that reduce brain inflammation. And definitely legumes, chickpeas, lentils, beans.
I also saw a note about coffee and tea. I feel like we're usually told to cut back on caffeine if we're feeling anxious.
This is a fun one. Coffee and tea, in moderation, can actually be beneficial. Both caffeinated and decaf can encourage the release of dopamine.
The reward chemical.
The motivation and reward chemical. It's a natural mood enhancer, so that morning cup is doing more than just waking you up.
But there has to be a catch, right?
The catch is what you put in it. If you load it up with sugary syrups, you're right back on that blood sugar roller coaster.
Right. And what about specific nutrients? I hear about omega-3s all the time.
Omega-3s are crucial. You get them from fatty fish like salmon or from walnuts and flax seeds. They're literally part of the structure of your brain cells.
Yeah.
B vitamins and flavonoids are also key building blocks for those feel-good chemicals.
This all sounds great, but I have to bring up a real-world problem. When I'm having a really bad day, I'm feeling down. My body does not crave a kale salad.
No.
It craves pizza. It craves chocolate.
You're absolutely right, Emily. And you've just described a very real thing we call reverse causality.
What's that?
It just means the street goes both ways. Yes, poor food can cause a bad mood. But a bad mood will almost always drive poor food choices.
It's a vicious cycle.
A total vicious cycle. You feel down, so you crave those high-carb, high-fat comfort foods for that quick, temporary dopamine hit. But then the crash comes, which makes you feel worse.
So you crave it again. It's a trap.
It is. And stress plays a huge part. When you're stressed, your body thinks it's in a crisis and demands immediate, easy energy. That means sugar.
I'm guessing sugary drinks and energy drinks fall into this category too.
A huge part of it. The data on sugary drinks and poor mental health is very clear. But energy drinks are especially rough. They combine that sugar with stimulants and are strongly linked to increased stress, anxiety, and insomnia.
So knowing all this, how do we actually use this information? Because just telling someone who's depressed to eat better feels really dismissive.
It is dismissive, and we have to be clear. Diet is not a replacement for therapy or medication, but we are starting to see a shift where we use food as medicine. It's a strategy to support mental health care.
So how does a person start doing that for themselves?
I often suggest a little 2 or 3 week experiment. Just try going clean. Cut out the ultra-processed foods and added sugar for a couple of weeks.
To set a new baseline for yourself.
Exactly. Just see how you feel physically and emotionally. Many people say it's like a fog lifts. Then you can reintroduce foods one by one. If you have that donut and 2 hours later you feel irritable and tired, well, there's your data.
That would require really paying attention.
It does. I suggest food journaling, but not for calories. I don't care about calories here. Track your mood.
Like 12 p.m. ate a salad, 2 p.m. felt focused.
Yes. What did you eat? When did you eat it? And how did you feel 2 hours later? Tired, anxious. You'll start to see patterns you never noticed before.
And it's not just what we eat, is it? It's also how we eat.
That is such a wonderful point. Food is social. Sharing a meal with someone connects us. It reduces stress. But we so often eat standing up, scrolling on our phones. If you can just slow down, step away from the screen, and actually taste your food, it signals to your body that you're safe. It shifts you from fight or flight mode into rest and digest.
Rest and digest. I like that. So the big takeaway is that while there's no single magic food, a varied diet of whole foods is a massive tool for our mental health.
It is. And if I could leave everyone with one final thought, it would be this. Mental health is incredibly complex. We shouldn't stigmatize diet. Food is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a piece you have control over.
I think that's really empowering.
Think of your diet as a tool you can actively use to improve your mind.
So here's a question for all of you to think about today. Next time you reach for a snack, ask yourself, is this just filling my stomach or is it fueling my brain?
That is the question.
Thanks for this deep dive today. It was fascinating.
My pleasure. Stay healthy, everyone.